In this episode, join us as we travel to Chimney Rock, North Carolina. We'll travel around beautiful Lake Lure in search of breakfast.
Then we'll visit Chimney Rock State Park and then head to the top of Chimney Rock itself. We'll go down and out to Hickory Nut Falls, and then we'll hike back on the Four Seasons Trail.
So keep your eyes open and see if you can find a few things that we identified that reminded us of our trip to Ireland.
So we had planned a short trip and stay in Asheville, North Carolina. When we plan to go somewhere, we look at sites that may be within a short distance of traveling to that we find of interest. We saw this site, Chimney Rock, online and noticed some of the views and some of the amazing little facts about it and just decided we needed to go.
Whenever we travel somewhere, I love to go places that are up high where you can get a bird's eye view of the area. And it certainly didn't disappoint in that respect.
Oh, not at all. Like Karen, I like to go up high up on places and have a great view, but I do get a little squeamish when there aren't any handrails or safety features. And this was quite the opposite. It had a very good stair system and pathways, great views, and it did have a great deal of protection so you didn't fall off.
We headed out of Asheville in the morning. Chimney Rock is about a 40-minute drive southeast of Asheville through beautiful terrain.
It's gorgeous.
On these little, narrow, very windy roads. And it reminds us very much of the roads we drove in Ireland, except for the fact that there are no stone walls behind this brush on the side here. Okay, so we were wrong about there not being any rocks along the sides of the road here.
There are several parts where the two-lane highway, a state road perhaps, and they run next to some beautiful streams and small rivers. Anytime you can stop and get out of the car, the sound of the rushing water is kind of soothing, I guess.
It was really beautiful.
There were a couple of small areas where we could look up and see Hickory Nut Falls.
You could just barely see it. As a matter of fact, I would not have noticed it, but Chris saw it and pointed it out. He's the eagle eye.
Yes.
We did discover a secret location, unbeknownst to many. We found ourselves going through Bat Cave, North Carolina.
Imagine that. So we arrived in Chimney Rock, the village or town itself. We were in search of breakfast, and there weren't any places serving breakfast. Several people were willing to give us directions to where we could get a really good breakfast. Once again, when you're in the hills and the mountains like that, sometimes the mileage can seem short. However, the time to get there, and we'll compare that to Ireland, I guess,
Yes.
took longer than you thought it would. So we were quite hungry when we arrived.
We had to follow the outline of Lake Lure, which is very irregularly shaped.
And very long.
It is. Lake Lure actually has 21 miles of shoreline and is over 700 acres of surface water. And after calling to make sure they were open and were still serving breakfast, we ended up at Victory Kitchen.
Great little place.
It was. The people were very friendly, and we came across something that once again reminded us of Ireland.
Yeah, there's a comparison there. But my first thought took me back to my grandparents, because that might have been the last time I tried this delicacy, we'll say. There it was called liver mush, which is what my grandmother called it. And the nearest thing we can compare it to is maybe black pudding, but this is ground up beef liver, I believe. Could be pork liver. It was very well prepared. It was a little soft on the inside and crunchy on the outside. Of course, pan fried. It's not for everyone. It was a very nice crunch to it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We've compared liver mush and white and black pudding to scrapple and geta, which are all types of mixed meats that are usually fried.
It was great to try. Took me back many years, but Probably something I would only order maybe once a year or twice.
I had a wonderful biscuits and gravy.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I was hungry, but you can see what my plate looked like when I finished. So then we needed to head back around the lake to the state park. We did catch some glimpses of Lake Lure going around, and we found that Lake Lure was actually used in the filming of the movie Dirty Dancing. Now, even though most of the filming was done in Southwest Virginia at a resort there, some of the footage with the camp counselors' cabins and also the big finale scene where Johnny and Baby dance were both filmed there in Lake Lure. We also, along the way, passed by the noted flower bridge there in Lake Lure, which is done by the Horticultural Society and has quite a reputation for being very beautiful. When we got to Chimney Rock State Park, we actually pulled through the old entrance to it and up to the gatehouse, and it was $17 US for each adult to get in. Now that includes all of the trails. It includes the elevator up to the top of Chimney Rock, going out to see the waterfalls, all of that.
And transportation.
Yes, and
from a
and
base parking lot.
Yes, bus transportation from the lower parking lot up to the upper parking lot. So Chimney Rock Park was actually purchased in 1902 by Dr. Lucius Morse and his twin brothers. And they thought it was a really beautiful area. They purchased 64 acres. And now the park is actually almost 1,000 acres. Back in the day, there were no elevators, there were no stairs. Originally, the doctor hired someone with a mule to take him up to the top of Chimney Rock. And it's amazing to see some of the older photos of Chimney Rock and to see women in long dresses sitting out on what is now the opera box when there was no railing, there was nothing there. To see people standing out on these rock outcroppings in the early 1900s was incredible to me.
Kind of like watching people venture towards the edge at the Cliffs of Moher.
Yes, it was very much like that. Originally, they built 3 miles of dirt road and a bridge over the river. They also added trails and stairs. In 1946, they started planning an elevator to go to the top.
So when we arrived on the park bus at the upper level parking at the base of Chimney Rock, it's a short walk up to where you get your first really good views of the Lake Lure Valley. It's beautiful, and if the weather is kind that day, then as the Who would say, you could see for miles and miles.
Actually, from the top of Chimney Rock, on a clear day, they say you can see 75 miles. Well, you could see the mountains and the lake, and it was just really nice. There was kind of a light rain coming in that day. We could see the clouds coming way off.
You could see the rain coming.
Yes. Yet another similarity to Ireland.
There was something that concerned us a little bit about arriving at the base of Chimney Rock, and it was a restroom warning, wasn't it?
It was. There was quite a long line for the ladies' room, and I said, do they not have a restroom up top of the chimney? And actually they do. But periodically they have issues, apparently, because of the amount of distance they have to pump the water. And when we first got there, there was not any water up top. We were told that the restrooms were not operational up there, so to be sure and use the restroom before you went up. But by the time we actually got through the line for the elevator, through the tunnel, the restrooms upstairs were working all right. So just something to ask before you go up. And at that point, you can either take the tunnel to the elevator and take the elevator up 26 stories to the top, or you can take a walking trail called the Outcropping Trail, 510 steps. Now we're talking up steps, not just walking steps. to get to the top of Chimney Rock. And they say it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to do that. We do want to let you know that dogs are not allowed in the elevators. So if you're hiking there with your dog and you want to go up to the top, your poor little dog is going to have to climb those 510 steps. So just something to think about.
Unless it is a service dog.
Correct. Service dogs are allowed in the elevator. We're in the tunnel that leads you to the elevator that goes up top at Chimney Rock. And I'm going to turn it around and let you see the tunnel. Once we exited the elevator, we found ourselves in the gift shop, no surprise there, and came out through the gift shop onto a lovely upper deck, which overlooked Lake Lure yet again. That was a stunning view of Lake Lure. You do have to climb some steps up to the very top of Chimney Rock.
Don't be expecting like a smooth concrete pad or a viewing area up at that point. It's mostly large stones and boulders, and you have to mind your step. You could hurt your ankle very badly.
Yes.
At that point, I think we could see storm clouds coming in. So we knew we should find some shelter from the rain at that point.
Yes.
But it was amazing. It was beautiful.
It was really beautiful from the flag. We had talked about going to a point that overlooks the flagpole that is actually higher than that on Skyline Trail. And we decided with the storm clouds moving in, since we had planned on walking down rather than taking the elevator back down, that we probably should head out. And so we headed down the trail that is the trail you can actually come up if you don't want to take the elevator.
So after a short period of time, the heavier rain had subsided, and it was just kind of sprinkles at that point. And so we decided to start our hike to Hickory Nut Falls. We took the stairs and got to a path at the bottom.
It was Outcropping Trail.
Outcroppings. Very nice path. There's some unevenness to it. It wasn't muddy or slippery at that point.
It was very warm and steamy that day. Be sure you take water with you.
Oh yeah.
On your hikes there.
Yes. So we kept hiking, and every 5 minutes or 6 minutes, somebody would go, "Almost there." You're almost there. Almost there. With no definite amount of time what almost meant. But once we got within the sound of the falls.
So we're at the point now where we can hear Hickory Nut Falls, and we're starting to see the bottom of it a little bit.
We knew we were actually almost there.
Right. So we did make it to the falls, and it was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
The falls actually were also in a movie. They were the scene of the finale of the movie Last of the Mohicans. I don't know how they filmed that movie with no railings or anything there. I hope they had something there to protect their actors, but
It was quite a dramatic ending or scene.
It was in that movie. The ending is quite something. We'll just leave it at that.
When we arrived at the base of the falls, I spoke with a ranger. There were some kids with their families splashing in the water. She was keeping an eye on the kids and even adults to make sure they didn't wander too far down. And I go, "Oh, is there a liability issue?" And she goes, "Kinda. It's more there are poisonous snakes that one should be concerned with." So she kept an eye on that. She was very informative, very friendly, and a nice experience having her there.
So we headed back to the Four Seasons Trail because we decided Rather than taking the bus down, we would walk the trails all the way down to where our car was. It was almost like a prehistoric forest. It was really beautiful, huge boulders that had fallen down the mountain.
Yeah, and we didn't see many other hikers on that trail, so you could kind of let your imagination run away with you.
It looks kind of prehistoric, like a dinosaur is going to pop out at any minute.
You have to watch your step here. It's a little damp, and some of the steps are tree roots and then natural stone. And it is, like Karen said, pretty unreal when you see the size of some of the rocks and the walls like we're coming up on here. The bench down here will give you a little scale of the size of this. That's what it looks like straight over my head.
And it did take us quite a while to make it all the way down to the parking lot.
And there's a lot more hiking that can be done there as well.
And if that's not quite enough adventure for you, the park has actually partnered with a rock climbing service in the area. So if you contact them, you can actually do rock climbing in the park. It's called Fox Mountain Guides.
In the U.S., there's something called the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, and they at one point had a race up the back of Chimney Rock Mountain.
Yes, it was a sports car race.
Apparently some bigger names in racing at that time had taken up the challenge.
It's been around for a while there and has been a really vital part of the Lake Lure area.
Yes.
But we would highly recommend Chimney Rock State Park to anyone.
Absolutely.
If you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and like and share it with your friends. All you need to do is hit that button with our little faces on it. Where's the button, Chris?
I think it's down here, right?
It is there.
Okay. And special shout out, thanks to all of our old subscribers and all of the new ones that have joined us. So
yes,
thank you very much.
Yes, in the last month we've had a lot of new subscribers and we really appreciate it. Next episode, we're going to try something a little different. Next time, we're going to have a photo and video montage of our travels in Ireland set to music. We'll have very minimal talking over this, just something a little different we're going to try this time. So,
we'll see how it works.
We will. And hopefully you'll join us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much. Bye now.
Bye.